Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Joyful DIYs and I am Joyful Day. I upload a new DIY every Saturday based on your vote in the comments section below. I'll tell you more about this week's 3 options later on in the video. Let's get started. The fabric for this week, I'm going to be making the Eevee. So this is going to be part 1 of the Eevee to Sylveon transformation dress, and we're going to start by making the Eevee top and skirt, and then next week we'll work on the Sylveon. The materials that you're going to need: elastic. This is 100 yards at 1/4 of an inch. This is 100 yards at 1.0 mm. This, we're gonna need some thread, probably way more than this, safety pins, magnets, Velcro, scissors, and something to write with. All the materials this week were thrifted. These ones I just got a while back. This was the skirt of a bed sheet, or a bed skirt, and this is just a regular sheet that's cream color, and I'll be able to use this one for the fake fur fluff that an Eevee has around the top, and also for the tail detail. But for the top this week, we are going to be doing kind of a vest top, because it needs to have that Velcro strip down the front so that it can transform into the Sylveon top that'll be underneath it, and the skirt will actually have an elastic piece that will go down and release the Sylveon skirt at the same time as the top comes off for the transformation. So this is going to be really exciting. I have never done this before, but we're going to see how it goes. For the skirt, I'm using this Value Village sheet, and I got this for full price, but I had to get this brown so that I could do this Eevee dress. For the skirt, I really would like it to be a circle skirt, and I would also like it to be floor length. So I'm going to see, because this is a queen size sheet, so we'll see how much material I actually get out of this to do that skirt, and then I could worry about the top part after that. I just cut out my skirt, and I just folded it into four-piece square like I did with my last DIY circle skirt. So if you are confused, go ahead and watch that one and then jump back into this one. So this is 7 inches that I took from the top, each corner, and then I measured down to 35 inches and just cut off the whole bottom in a circle, half-shaped circles, in a half-shaped circle. I'm ready to start sewing my skirt, so I'm going to sew an elastic sleeve through the top, and I'm just going to grab about 1 inch, fold it down, and then sew along the curve there. And then on the bottom, this part is what is going to make this magical skirt, because it'll turn this skirt into the other skirt with the drawstring elastic at the very bottom of this skirt. So in order to make that drawstring elastic, you're going to have to grab from the bottom, go about 1 inch, and sew I'm gonna go ahead and roll hem this first and then create my elastic loop by sewing along that line with about a ½ inch rolled down, because the elastic that we're going to put through this bottom here is really not that big. It's that 1.0 millimeter elastic band, and that's what we're going to just go ahead and thread through this whole entire bottom. And then when that is full, it'll just be released. But then once you cinch that elastic up, it will create the skirt to gather, and it will hide the skirt that's underneath. And that's what we're going to do with this piece. Of course, don't forget to backstitch. For the bottom of the skirt, I'm going to take about an inch, maybe a little less than that, fold it over and just sew in order to make the tiny elastic sleeve. I'm going to do it like this because I'm going to add a full nether skirt to the bottom side of this, so you'll never even see this seam. I have now sewn the top and the bottom and left a little hole for the elastic. I'm going to try elastic on the top and the bottom, and if the elastic doesn't hold on the top, then I will go to the string. To find out how much elastic you'll need, just measure your waist with the elastic, and that'll give you about how much you need. Now I get to add elastic in the waistline and in the very end hem of the skirt. So I was mentioning how this top one was going to be an elastic sleeve. I think we're going to end up needing to have a string or cordage right here and then tie it, because I don't think that the elastic band of 1/4 of an inch will really hold up the weight of both of the skirts. To add the elastic to the waistline, attach a safety pin with one side of the elastic to the hemline, and or at least the seam anyway, and then shimmy the other safety pin, attach the other piece of elastic through the elastic sleeve. To put the elastic through the bottom of the skirt, we're going to want to do the same safety pin method. However, instead of making this tight, we're going to want this to be as loose as possible so that the dress will fully extend when it needs to. So after all of that work that I just did, putting this little tiny strand of elastic through this whole thing, I'm noticing it still scrunches up even if I try and make it flatten out. So it's really not going to work the way that I had hoped it was going to work. So I'm going to have to think of some other way to get the elastic, or to get the skirt to go from here to up here to the waistline, and then give this little ruffle skirt or fluff skirt effect. And then at the bottom of this skirt, how it is folded in half, I'm going to add ruffle to that, and this is going to be what the Eevee skirt is going to kind of look like, and I'll show you what I mean when I get done with this part. I've decided to put magnets on each side about 1 foot apart from each other so that we can have this much weight extra at the end of the fabric, so when I put it on, it will prevent all this scrunching from happening. So that really didn't work. I'm gonna go ahead and wait until after I add the Sylveon skirt, and then it might have to be the way that Others have made it before, and add the Velcro around the bottom of the dress so that it can be Velcroed to the top of the Eevee dress so that it can conceal the dress underneath. Now I've got the skirt folded in half with basically 2 waistbands because I'm using that string as that waistband. And for now this string will work because all I want to do is measure right exactly where I want the ruffle to line up with the bottom, and I kind of want it to go about an inch above that. And this skirt just will have that extra little bit of ruffle and flow to the bottom of it, and it's already going to be kind of poofy just like this, but it'll be even more poofy once I have the other skirt inside. So maybe even 2 inches from the bottom will allow that poof from the skirt to not look too baggy. To add the ruffle, I'm going to have to loosen this whole skirt all the way back up because we want to make sure that it's even all the way around the whole skirt. So we are going to measure and put a little line where we want to add our ruffle the whole way around. I just measured, and it is about 16 inches for the length of this skirt, and I'm gonna go up about 2 inches and use that line on the good right side of the material and only go through 1 piece of this sheet. Now I'm just measuring and marking out a tiny spot every few inches so that I can find my measurement and easily sew right on the line so I don't have my ruffles going different directions. This is really my favorite part because I love ruffles so much. It's fun to have ruffles on your clothes and all over the house, and I just love ruffles. So I'm just going to measure every couple inches and put a dot. So I can keep my ruffles level. I also measured around where those lines that I drew in the fabric for the skirt so that I could make sure that the bed skirt was going to cover the whole way around the skirt, and it really does just barely fit. I have like a extra 10 inches I think, so I'm really excited to try this and hopefully it works. To add the ruffle, we're going to place it down right just above the lines that we created, and then when we put it on, it'll flap down this way and have a nice even line. To add the ruffle, give yourself about an inch, put it behind your presser foot, and line up where that first line was that you started with. Put your presser foot down, and then as you're going, keep watching where your lines are and make sure that you keep it straight as possible. And then sew forward and back stitch and get going. Just trying to be sure to line up my lines. Also be sure to put the fabric going this direction towards the very end hemline that is your second waistband that has the tiny strand string in it. Doing this will make it to where it will be more flowy when it turns up this way, and it will still be completely unnoticed when it's out full. That way it won't be noticeable when it's in the Sylveon form. Now with the whole bottom of the skirt cut out, we can go ahead and work on the top. With the rest of the material that we have left from where we cut the skirt, we'll use this for our vest. So to start the vest, we're going to need the measurements from your shoulder to your waist, and also your bust measurement and how far down you want your vest to go. I'm going to want this to go up kind of high because I don't want the vest to show the dress that I'm going to be wearing underneath. If you happen to have a vest that fits you well, you can use that as a pattern and it makes it a lot easier to do this part. So I do not happen to have a vest that fits me well, but I do have a vest and it doesn't happen to be mine. But I tried it on and it is of course way too small, so I'm going to add like 3 inches in the back and then just add these pieces as we go and test and try on and test again. Now cut really delicately around the armhole to be sure that you have the right measurement for that, and then also a neck portion for the back here. And then we're going to flip this over and duplicate these front sides as well. I actually don't believe that I have a long enough piece this way to get my side pieces right here. So what I'm going to have to do is, instead of cutting it like this, like I have been, I'm going to cut it like this, which is the opposite side of the grain than that I did with the back of the top. But with this material, I don't even think it'll show up. So we'll see. Because I need two, I'm going to fold this in half. So now I'm just folding this in half to have the front sides facing up so that we can get a good copy of these front panels. Like I did with the back, I gave myself a couple extra inches. I'm gonna go ahead and do that with this front because, like I said before, this one is not even my vest. It doesn't really fit me, but I wanted to get the shape right and then hopefully make it fit right as well at the same time. So that's why I'm gonna just leave myself the extra few inches and hopefully that'll make it work right. For this top, because we don't want it to look like a vest, we want it to look like it's a bodice, we're gonna cut this directly straight instead of having these flaps come down as well. So I'm just gonna tuck these in real quick. And again, give myself extra inches. Now you can clearly tell that this has a lot of material compared to this little bit of material, and we're just gonna fix that to where it's the right size after it's already on, because we want to make sure that there's more than enough so that we can take away the extra instead of there being too little and then there not being enough to fix whatever mistake I might make. So this actually gave me both pieces, the left and the right side of the front, and what we're gonna do is sew all the sides, roll hem them, and attach them to the back, which I'm gonna roll hem that as well, and then I will be adding the Velcro here to there, and this will be the top. And then we'll try it on and see after I've got it all hemmed. To start on the top, we're gonna go ahead and roll hem all of the edges of the back and then do the same thing for the two front portions so that we can have our edges line up and have neat and clean edges all the way around. Now I can already tell just by lining up where I want to safety pin the front and the back sleeve together at the top. Right here where this part ends on the back is where I'm going to want to line up these two parts of the top shoulder hem. So for that to work out, I will be able to cut out from here to the natural button spots of the vest, or I could leave that part out if I wanted to have a little bit of a collar, which for this one I'm not going to do that. Now I'm just finishing up the shoulder straps. Now that I have finished sewing and hemming up all of the top, I'm going to be able to add the Velcro to the inside portion and the outside portion of the other side of the front, and that will help us on the way to making this Eevee top. This is what the top looks like so far. I have decided that I'm going to make it short because I don't want this part of the vest to show when I have the skirt on, and I don't want to tuck it in because I need to rip it off. So I'm just gonna have it be a little short vest and then have the skirt come clear up to right here. I had about 10 inches left of this skirting, and so I've decided to go ahead and add this in right here as a little bit of a lace detail, and then I'll just curve these edges so it'll just be a little bit of a little lace detail to match the skirt. So I also have this eyelet lace, and I decided not to use this because it does have this weird stain right here. I don't know if you can see it, but I don't need to use this piece for what I want to do next. And I have the top here, and I did the sleeves. So what I want to do is put a little bit of eyelet lace around this edge, and then also straight down the front where that Velcro is going to be. I just want to cover up where those stitch marks are going to be for where the Velcro is going to be attached. When adding this Velcro, be sure to not go through the other side and sew into your ruffle. So I'm just adding it to this side, and then I'm going to sew from the top. That way I won't mess up my ruffles. Now I'm going to switch my thread to a cream color and then do all of my little finishings so that my little eyelet lace will have rolled, curved hem edges everywhere. Now I can put the dress aside and make the Eevee ears. To make Eevee ears, fold 2 pieces of fabric together that are equal in size and in half, and then go up about 10 inches, and I would say 3 inches to the side of that, and then we're going to cut a curved ear half shape here. Now I'm not going to do too much with this ear. Actually, I'm not going to do anything else with the ear because I'm going to make the front half or one half of it an Eevee ear, meaning that the front side will have both Eevee ears, and then the back side is going to have the Sylveon ears. That way I can go ahead and just switch my headband around and switch from Eevee to Sylveon when I do my transformation. So this will be what your Eevee dress looks like to give you a good idea. And I am just going to add the other strip of Velcro that's on the other side of this right here. And I will be done with this portion for this week. The DIYs for this week are a floral ruffle dress, a lace dress, or a shorts and vest Lolita for him outfit. In a world full of expenses, my DIYs are always free. So come back next week and have a joyful day.